The world of rap has been particularly struck by tragedy, seemingly more than other musical genres. Too many rappers have died too early at the peak of their fame and influence before they ever got a chance to get old. Here are some rappers who died tragically. Discovered in a mall by super producer Jermaine Dupri, Chris Mac Daddy Kelly and Chris Daddy Mac Smith, aka Criss Cross, were all of 13 when they topped the Billboard Hot 100 in 1992 with Jump, a song built on a killer hook and the rapid-fire flow of the very young rappers. Criss Cross scored again with hits like Warm It Up and All Right before splitting up in 1996, but not before inspiring millions to imitate the duo by wearing their clothes backwards. On May 1, 2013, Kelly was discovered unresponsive at his Atlanta home. Despite a transfer to a local hospital, Kelly passed away later that same day. In July 2013, the Fulton County Medical Examiner released the results of an autopsy. The rapper had a number of controlled substances in his body, including heroin, cocaine, alcohol, prescription painkillers, and Valium, several of which a friend told police he'd consumed the night before his death. All those things made for a fatal combination, and Kelly died at age 34. Mobb Deep came onto the scene strong in the 90s with the infamous and Hell on Earth, landmarks of both a very fruitful decade for hardcore rap and for the East Coast New York-based scene in particular. Mobb Deep was a duo consisting of Havoc and Prodigy. Affiliated with the influential 50 Cent and his G-Unit collective, Mobb Deep experienced a resurgence in popularity in the mid-2000s, although it was interrupted when Prodigy had to serve a 3-year prison sentence for weapons charges. Forever turning his darker experiences into art, Prodigy later published Commissary Kitchen, My Infamous Prison Cookbook, a collection of jailhouse recipes on his own imprint. According to The Independent, Prodigy was diagnosed as an infant with sickle cell anemia, a painful chronic disorder where red blood cells take on a crescent shape which slows down and obstructs blood flow. That can lead to extensive and frequent medical treatment, and Prodigy sought relief during a Las Vegas tour stop in 2017. While under a doctor's care for his sickle cell anemia, Prodigy choked on an egg and died. The Mobb Deep star was 42. After the gangster rap era came and went, and before the rise of Eminem and 50 Cent, there was no rapper more popular with a more indelible impression on hip-hop than DMX. With his distinctively guttural, throaty, and weighty voice that sold the material and conveyed a troubled and conflicted past, the man born Earl Simmons dominated late 90s and early 2000s rap. DMX was versatile too, energetically barking his way through anthems to challenges on wax to self-assured explorations of culture and identity. His album sold extremely well at his peak, with 5 DMX records in a row topping the Billboard 200 between 1998 and 2003. According to sources who spoke to TMZ, on the evening of April 2, 2021, DMX overdosed on drugs and suffered a heart attack. Paramedics were called to the rapper's home, and it took around 30 minutes to resuscitate. DMX was on life support for nearly a week, at which point no brain function had returned. On April 9, 2021, DMX died at the age of 50. Pop Smoke brought the Brooklyn drill subgenre of hip-hop to the masses. According to The Ringer, the style melds spooky British production techniques with trap beats and often dark lyrics. In 2019, he released his first major project, Meet the Woo, with a follow-up, Meet the Woo 2, debuting in February 2020 and hitting number 7 on the Billboard album chart. His star was on the rise, and he'd go on to work with heavy hitters like Travis Scott and Nicki Minaj, and also score numerous top 20 singles. Sadly, Pop Smoke, born Bashar Jackson, wouldn't live to see much of his phenomenal success. According to the New York Times, the rapper had relocated from New York to a home in Hollywood he rented from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Teddy Mellencamp. It was there, in the early hours of February 19, 2020, that a group of men allegedly broke in and shot the rapper. A few hours later, he died at a local hospital. Pop Smoke was 20 years old. There weren't many rappers who made a bigger impact on hip-hop in the late 2010s than Juice WRLD. In 2018, he released his first album, Goodbye and Good Riddance, and it reached number 4 on the Billboard album chart while also generating the huge hit singles Lucid Dreams and All the Girls Are the Same. His second studio release, Death Race for Love, performed even better, cresting the Billboard 200. Juice WRLD was a prolific musician, releasing an additional 9 EPs and 2 mixtapes, all before he turned 21 years old. Then, less than a week after he hit that milestone birthday, it was all over for Juice WRLD. According to TMZ, the rapper exited a private plane at Chicago's Midway Airport in December 2019. While walking through the terminal, he suffered a seizure, with blood reportedly coming out of his mouth by the time paramedics could treat him. A few hours later, he was pronounced dead at a hospital. The rapper, whose music was laced with references to his use and abuse of substances, died from an overdose of codeine and oxycodone, according to the Cook County Medical Examiner. While he found national success as part of a popular rap collective, the rapper who called himself Proof was a local legend in the Detroit rap scene of the 1990s. According to AllMusic, he hosted and competed in rap battles, and even won the 1999 Unsigned Hype Award bestowed by hip-hop magazine The Source. It was in this world that he and Eminem became friends and collaborators, and the latter would later ask Proof, also known as Deshaun Holton, to join his rap collective D12. He participated on 2 D12 albums in the 2000s, Devil's Night and D12 WRLD, released a solo record Searching for Jerry Garcia, and played the role of daunting battle rapper Lil Tick in Eminem's lightly fictionalized biopic 8 Mile. In the early hours of April 11, 2006, according to Rolling Stone, a fight broke out at 3C, a club in the 8 Mile area of Detroit. Police arrived at the illegal after-hours institution after receiving reports of shots fired. According to Billboard, police say that Mario Etheridge fatally shot Proof after the rapper shot and killed Etheridge's cousin after a disagreement over a pool game. Proof was pronounced dead on arrival at a local hospital. He was 32 years old. Raised in the Magnolia Projects of New Orleans, James Tapp Jr. first adopted the stage name Magnolia Slim. After he changed his name to Soulja Slim, he earned the attention of Master P and his influential No Limit Records. His first LP for that company, Give It To 'Em Raw, hit number 13 on the Billboard album chart. A few years in prison for armed robbery meant a follow-up wouldn't come quickly, but Soulja Slim re-emerged in the 2000s. Slow Motion, a collaboration with the rapper Juvenile, went all the way to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in August 2004. Unfortunately, Soulja Slim had no idea that he topped the charts. It was released after his death. In November 2003, per WAFB9, the rapper was shot to death outside the New Orleans house he'd bought for his mother. He was 26. The Detroit-based rap trio Slum Village got its big break in 1998 when it was asked to be the opening act on what was advertised as a Tribe Called Quest's final tour. The breakout star of Slum Village was rapper and producer James Yancey, or JD, but more prominently known as J Dilla. After releasing a Slum Village record in 2000, J Dilla went solo with Welcome to Detroit the following year. Around the turn of the millennium, J Dilla moonlighted as one of the hottest producers in hip-hop and R&B, shepherding commons like Water for Chocolate, D'Angelo's Voodoo, and projects for Macy Gray and Erykah Badu.
A lot of them don't know that Dilla produced a lot of their favorite picks.
Toward the end of his life, J Dilla suffered from lupus, a painful autoimmune disease characterized by widespread inflammation. He required the use of a wheelchair on some of his final concert dates, and in February 2006, per Billboard, the rapper and producer died from complications of the disease at the age of 32. Raised on Long Island by educator parents, Gustav R. moved to Los Angeles and in 2015 became one of the first and most vocal voices of the SoundCloud rapper movement. Performing and posting bedroom recordings on the streaming services Lil Peep, his childhood nickname, the rapper struck a nerve with his extremely personal songs about mental health issues and other sensitive subjects, combining confessional hip-hop with sounds and backing tracks from the worlds of emo and alternative rock. Lil Peep's career would ultimately last only about 2 years and consist of numerous independently released recordings, including the commercial hit Come Over When You're Sober Part 1. On the evening of November 15, 2017, Lil Peep was supposed to perform at a Tucson club called The Rock. He was discovered in his tour bus and he was pronounced dead on the scene, according to the New York Times. A toxicology report later issued by the Pima County Office of the Medical Examiner would rule that the rapper died from an accidental overdose of the anti-anxiety drug Xanax, combined with the powerful prescription painkiller fentanyl. Lil Peep was 21. If you or someone you know is struggling with drug addiction, be sure to reach out to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, SAMHSA, at 1-800-662-HELP, 4357.